is unique that these two parks are right next to each other. But as we talked a little bit ago, the two parks really aren't right next to each other. It doesn't feel like they are. You know, there's about 15 to 20 minutes in between the two just to drive them.
That's what good neighbors are for. We explore Gouldsboro State Park this time around. Welcome to Pocono Mountains Podcast, everyone. I'm your host, Jim Hamill. This is Season 5, Episode 10. We are halfway through our 8-part series on exploring state parks in the Poconos. Now with Gouldsboro State Park on the June Pocono Mountains magazine, premiering this Sunday. It's right next door to Toby Hanna State Park, which we featured back in April. Both are similar, being in high elevation, having lakes that were used for ice harvesting back in the day, and now have beautiful outdoor recreational opportunities throughout all 4 seasons. More on that in just a bit. The Poconos is a year-round destination for millions, with 2,400 square miles of mountains, forests, lakes, and rivers, with historic downtowns and iconic family resorts. It's the perfect getaway. You can always find out more at PoconoMountains.com or watch PTN, the Pocono Television Network, streaming live 24/7. Now back to the episode. Gouldsboro State Park is among the lesser visited in the Poconos. Park manager Justin Wade took us on a hike recently to see where the trails lead to a bridge connecting nearby Toby Hanna State Park. So we're back at another state park in the Poconos with park manager Justin Wade. You might remember him from Toby Hanna State Park. He's also manager of Big Pocono State Park, which we'll get to later this summer. But this is Gouldsboro State Park. Justin, thanks for joining us here on the Pocono Television Network.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
This trail that we're about to hike, this is about a little bit more than a half mile out and back that really kind of connects both parks, Toby Hanna and Gouldsboro, which are neighbors.
Absolutely. So the Frank Gans Trail does connect the two parks. We're hiking about a half a mile to a bridge that's kind of like the centerpiece between the two parks. However, the trail itself is about 3.5 miles long, which connects the two parks. But Gouldsboro and Toby Hanna both have that rich history right together, and the parks are right next to each other.
That's pretty unique. So you don't have far to go when you're at both parks. You could just kind of
not.
hop right over
Yep.
and manage things from there, especially as we get open for the summer.
Absolutely. We're opening up for the summer. If you're not liking Toby Hanna, maybe you can pop over to Gouldsboro and enjoy the day. Both parks have the beaches. We're getting open and ready to go this weekend. It's Memorial Day weekend. Camping is at its highest. So Gouldsboro does not have camping,
right.
But maybe if you're trying to get away from the hustle and bustle of a busier park on a holiday weekend, you can come to Gouldsboro.
Well, we're only going a little ways. Show folks that bridge that connects the two parks, and then we'll be heading back here to check out the lake.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Thanks, Justin. Let's go. Justin, I can't help but notice just how immersed you are in Mother Nature, the sounds, the sights, and you're pretty far removed now, at least from what it feels like, from that parking area and the trailhead.
Yep, absolutely. It doesn't take long to walk off the trail to feel like you're out there almost in like a wilderness. Although it's not designated a wilderness, there is a lot of forested area around here, which it does immerse you in that wildlife, whether it be the songbirds of the spring or the new green leaves that we're seeing. It does really get you out, secluded and away from the hustle and bustle of everyday life.
That is something about what the state parks offer, right? Especially throughout the summer months, being still open and still awesome. That's really the tagline right now for this summer season for your state parks, especially in the Poconos.
Yep, absolutely. You're exactly right. Still open and we're still awesome. We're encouraging people to get out, get into outdoor recreation, treat it with respect, and also have fun when you're out here. Enjoy it, and keep it there for a long time,
Yeah, we've certainly talked about that at each of these state parks that we've been at. These are, conservation-minded projects really for DCNR and your state parks division. What is it about Gouldsboro you think that stands out from the rest? I mean, we've got beach, which is certainly available at some other state parks, but this has a higher elevation for beach lovers and swimmers and boaters, right?
Absolutely. What makes it stand out from those other parks is, I believe, the visitation. It's quiet. It's secluded here. Really not that many people, I think, know about it. They see Gouldsboro on the map. Oh, they have a little park there. Well, that little park is a state park, Gouldsboro State Park, which is connected to Tobyhanna,
Sure.
which makes it a large venue of outdoor recreation.
Right.
So that secludedness, that feeling of, wow, I can stop and I can listen to these birds and not have to deal with other people kind of butting into my
Large crowds.
outdoor experience.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's very few large crowds, but you can still get a lot of the same amenities that you can get at all those other parks.
Sure. Sure. Yeah, we noted the outdoor core as well doing some of its work here. You guys must be very appreciative of their efforts and just that program as a whole really kind of making an impact on what the public ends up seeing and using.
Absolutely. A lot of people don't even think about any maintenance that goes on at these parks. But the Pennsylvania Outdoor Corps is a great avenue to secure funding,
Sure.
to secure working labor that is sometimes hard to come by. They do a lot of good work. They do a lot of unique outdoor projects. And it's a work development program, so it's really good for the youngest generation in the workforce right now. It's giving them skills. It's allowing them to work with some of our staff that can mentor them, kind of teach them the avenue of working outdoors and what that entails. I know even in myself, I really didn't know what I was getting into when, what jobs were out there in the outdoors. I just knew that I really liked being in the outdoors. The Pennsylvania Outdoor Corps is a great way to connect people to their foot in the door, maybe, or the start of their career. Yeah.
This is a pretty picturesque spot, especially here in springtime when the water's up and the air is fresh and clean.
Yes, absolutely. The air is fresh and clean. The water's fresh and clean. You see the beaver dam behind us here. A great natural filter of that water as well. This is Gouldsboro State Park. It's the connection between the two parks. It's really nice out here today.
Yeah, not too far from here is Tobyhanna Road, which is really the delineator between the two state parks. Really unique to have two that butt up to each other like this. You manage both of them. It's got to take a lot of effort, time, and care for a lot of your staff members, right?
Yep, absolutely. I mean, every park takes a lot of effort, time, and care. It really does. There's a lot of land and a lot of infrastructure and needs that go into all of them. It is unique that these two parks are right next to each other, but as we talked a little bit ago, the two parks really aren't right next to each other. It doesn't feel like they are. There's about 15 to 20 minutes in between the two to drive them. So large area comes with its challenges for maintenance and management.
And similarly, Gouldsboro State Park's lake here, like Tobyhanna Lake, really supplied a lot of ice for the ice harvest century ago. And of course, that stopped once refrigeration happened. But when you get out here on this lake, you get that same kind of sense, shallow lake, high elevation, a lot of ability to turn over that ice in the winter months.
Yes, absolutely. That is what the lake was used for originally, was that ice harvesting. Now it's just here for recreation, but you can still see that history. The railroad runs right up through Gouldsboro State Park. The railroad is actually on top of the dam here at Gouldsboro State Park.
Okay.
And that's where a lot of that ice harvesting activity happened here. Now it's kind of, something that's overlooked, something for the history books to say. But we're left here with this, the recreation opportunity that it provides now.
It is probably an ice fishing hub as well when the lake does freeze in the winter. I know this winter was quite cold and quite icy.
Yes, absolutely. This past winter was.
Yeah.
And there was ice reported up to almost 2 feet of ice on the lakes up on top of the Pocono Plateau here this year. Not much longer. It's May right now. We're recording June. Obviously, this is airing in June. But look around. Winter didn't last long.
No.
The nature has a way of bouncing back.
It certainly does. And you guys are definitely looking forward to welcoming visitors here. You're open all 4 seasons, but especially this time of year, you get probably the most visitation when people can come on out and utilize the beach area and get out and hike,
Yes, absolutely. We're, like you nailed it on the head there. It's we're open all 4 seasons. Still open. We're still awesome here.
Yeah.
We have opportunities for almost nearly everyone, between whether you want to go fishing for the day, relaxing on the beach, picnicking, having a picnic with a grill, whatever it may be. The boat rental, kayaking a little bit, hiking, lots of opportunities for everybody.
Justin Wade, park manager at Toby Hanna, Big Pocono, and right here at Gouldsboro State Park. Thank you for joining us here, sir.
Thank you
and we'll
very
look
much.
forward to seeing you at Big Pocono a little later in the season.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. Gouldsboro State Park, the fourth in our 8-part series exploring state parks in the Poconos. Learn more at PoconoMountains.com. Thanks for listening to Pocono Mountains Podcast. We'll have a new episode each week, highlighting lots of the fun things you can experience while you're visiting the Poconos. Subscribe and leave a review and or comment on whatever platform you listen. Pocono Television Network is everywhere you are, including broadcast, cable, and streaming. For a full list, go to PoconoTelevision.com, including WDPN 2.8 in Philly and Wilmington, and WLZH 18.6 in Harrisburg, Lancaster, York. Blue Ridge Cable Channel 734 in the Poconos, as well as other PA locations. Service Electric throughout NEPA, LHTC Broadband, Astound TV, and adding more cable systems all the time. Download the PTN app on Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, Android, Google, and smart TVs too, where you can watch PTN, the Pocono Television Network, anytime at PoconoTelevision.com. We're back. Thanks for listening to Pocono Mountains Podcast. I'm Jim Hamill. Now for a Pocono Mountains Podcast Extra. Back in the April Pocono Mountains magazine, we featured Toby Hanna State Park, that neighbor to Gouldsboro. Here's a listen back. Enjoy. Welcome to Toby Hanna State Park. This is stop 2 on our 8-part series of exploring state parks in the Poconos. And with a lake, this beautiful lake that's stocked with trout every season, and there's camping and trails, as well as boat rentals and beauty, this lake and this state park have a long, extensive history of keeping things cool. No matter the season, no matter the reason, Toby Hanna State Park is a favorite for getting outdoors and into nature. By pedaling on trails, or paddling on the lake, snowshoeing in winter, or posing to capture those quintessential family moments. Toby Hanna sees visitors throughout the year, from near and far.
Coming up, especially from New York City, or I'm sure people who come up maybe from other cities like Philly, whatever, it's definitely, a respite to get away. I think it's just important for people's, spirit. To me, personally, like this is more like going to church in some ways, getting out here.
All 5,400 acres provide the perfect opportunities to spend hours, days, even weeks at a time within the woods and surrounded by wildlife. A bald eagle nest within easy viewing of the shoreline. And whether it's from the eagle's perch or from the boat, fishing's good here by all accounts. Toby Hanna Lake is stocked fresh with trout each spring.
All ages can fish, but all people with any ability can fish here as well. We have a ADA accessible fishing pier in the park, which is a place that a lot of people like to go to fish.
Park manager Justin Wade welcomed us for a tour of Toby Hanna. He also oversees neighboring Gouldsboro State Park and Big Pocono. For him, Toby Hanna State Park is sometimes the first introduction some have to the state park system.
There's a lot to do here at the park. Anything from somebody that wants to come here and be here for a day use activity, such as picnicking or swimming at our beach.
For longer stays, camping is a popular part of the Toby Hanna experience. 140 campsites with everything you need. Tanya Doney has watched families grow up here through her 30 years of service to the state park.
There are a few really nice sites and people want them all the time, but specifically they might have a favorite site and they will reserve it 11 months in advance because that's the limit that you can reserve every year, and they will come back.
And to come back, they have. Whether it's to head out on the trails, take in some spectacular fall foliage views, or rent a boat for a voyage on this 170-acre lake. Nowadays, the lake provides a place for recreation. But about a century ago, a frozen Tobyhanna Lake provided ice for the harvest for city centers in Scranton and New York.
A lot of these small lakes, including here, Mill Pond number 1, which is down in Tobyhanna, which is outside the park, and then Gouldsboro State Park, all had ice harvesting lakes. Ice harvesting was only a thing between about 1900 and 1936 because refrigeration was invented.
Of course.
So it wasn't needed anymore.
Each year, local history buffs keep the tradition of the ice harvest alive, just down the road from Tobyhanna State Park at Mill Pond number 1, with some of the same equipment that would have been used in that time period. These bodies of water, ideal for ice formation because of where they are, high atop the Pocono Mountains.
It is typically 10 to 12 degrees colder here than it is in Stroudsburg, which is only about 20 miles from here. And the lake has an average depth of only about 3 feet and a max depth of only about 9 feet, which allowed them to actually harvest ice twice throughout the winter. Because the lake would freeze, they could harvest it, and then it would freeze again, and they would harvest it again.
A lesson in history and how where this state park is fits into the big picture of the changing seasons and the evolution of time, including signs of a bygone era before this was a state park and the military tested artillery shells here pre-1950. Tobyhanna Army Depot is now a neighbor to the state park, and some warnings remain about the small chance of finding relics from that time.
It is extremely, extremely unlikely for anybody to find one of these unexploded ordnances. If you stay on the trail, you stay in the day use areas, you stay in the campground, your chances of finding them are almost zero.
As we celebrate Earth Day in April, state parks like Tobyhanna are here as reminders of our relationship to the natural world all around us, and the good work being done to conserve everything within these shared waters, forests, and skies.
And that's what we do as the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources with the Bureau of State Parks. We're also here to educate and teach people how to treat the outdoors and respect the outdoors, so it is here for that person's enjoyment and their children's children, is what I say.
To learn more about Tobyhanna State Park, head to PoconoTelevision.com. Thanks for exploring state parks in the Poconos with us. This has been Jim Hamill for the Pocono Television Network. Tobyhanna State Park and Gouldsboro State Park. Learn more at PoconoTelevision.com. We hope you enjoyed Pocono Mountains Podcast. Please remember to subscribe anywhere podcasts are available. Come visit us in the Pocono Mountains. Plan your trip today.